MeepleTown, ready to work
go.
on our next 10 games, or 20 games, I guess technically, 10 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
We also switched over to YouTube. We're going to be recording on this. Now, just so you know, this will post on the podcast first.
Yes.
So if you're looking for it on YouTube and you're like...
Way before YouTube, bro.
Yeah, potentially weeks or years, who knows. At this point, we haven't posted the first one yet, but it will be up there at some point. But who cares about that? Let's get into our number 40.
Cares. Am I going first, right?
You care.
All right.
I care.
My number 40 is, I would say, it's only 10 years old, but it's an oldie but a goodie. It feels classic, doesn't it? 10 years old in board game is kind of classic these days. I mean, if they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar. Which, this is a Simone Luciani, Daniele Tassini game that I absolutely love. It has these huge gears, but guess what, Dean? Those gears are not just a novelty. They actually have something interesting that takes place, which, hey, we played Gutenberg lately. A little bit of gear action, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You like the gears better on this one?
Oh, yes. Far better. But what I like about Tzolk'in is, as you're spinning the gears, the center gear, it's spinning the other gears, but it's not just worker placement. It's worker placement tactically. Like you either put them on your turn or take them off on your turn, which causes you... If you're going to be a good player, you've got to think multiple steps ahead. And when am I going to take these off? When am I going to take those on or put those on? And I think that's fun because I like tactical games. I like when to do it is so important. And in this game, when to place your worker is hugely important. And I think that's why I really like this. This has been around for a long time. And Tzolk'in is a great game. That's my number 40.
Yeah, I enjoy this one too. Funny enough, I played this in the not too distant past, maybe like 2 months ago or something like that. I enjoy this one too. It's not going to make my 50 or maybe even 100, not even 100 for sure. But
just slap Tzolk'in in the face.
It's a really fun game. I'm guessing this is one of many T games to come. Is my guess.
I don't know.
That's my guess. That's my prediction.
Okay.
All right, my number 40 is a game that is pretty new. Came out last year. That is Merchant's Cove.
Are we surprised that it's a new game?
No. Or that the components are amazing? No, maybe not. All right. So, by the way, Tzolk'in...
There's a game that's set up on the table. I won't say what it is yet. And it has minis, it has recess boards, and I told Dean, it's probably already top 50 for you. You should have played that before we did this.
Tzolk'in was ranked 50 overall. So right now, John is in the lead for the highest picks.
Okay.
Because you only picked one.
This one definitely won't be.
Yeah, Merchant's Cove is ranked 958 overall.
That's not bad, though.
No, not at all. This one is from Final Frontier Games by a bunch of different designers, Johnny Pack and Carl Ostrand and Drake Villarreal. I always say his name wrong. In this game, you've got these boats that have these adventures that are coming to shore, and you're going to be loading up those boats with different colored meeples. And what you're trying to do is create wares on your player board. This is a completely asymmetric game, by the way. So I'm creating these wares on my board and worker placing so that I can create these things. And so is John. And then as these boats...
You're creating questions.
As these boats are coming in, we have to sell different colored wares to different colored adventures that match up with them. And you're going to get more and more money that way. I just love this game.
Yeah.
Love this game. So much about it. I just played this a week or two ago, and I was like, yep, it's sticking up there. And I don't see this one falling, maybe rising with the new expansion that's coming out. I'm pretty pumped about that. It's going to have more factions, more goodness. This is an excellent game. I love it.
There you go. Yeah, that's fun.
Cove.
I enjoyed it. I definitely did. That's your number 39, Merchant's
That is
Cove.
my number 40.
Yep.
Literally my first one.
Oops-a-daisy. My number 39 is ranked 147 overall, and this is an Inca and Marcus Brand game, and that is Voyages of the Ganges. How about that? This game is great. I like this so much because I like the way that the winner is you're going up two different tracks, and wherever you cross it, I love that mechanic. I find myself liking more and more endings that aren't just who has scores the most victory points. Now, I've got plenty of those on my list, but just something a little bit more unique, and I think that that's what this gives you. But it's cool. I mean, you got dice worker placement, and you're also doing tile placement on your own little pad area. Your I don't know, palace, I guess, or something like that. A district, I don't know. But doing those things at and really going to the right places at the right times to set off different things, especially when you're going up the river and you don't want your opponent to get there first, and then, man, I needed this to set this off, to do this, to jump this many places, and I just love it. And it's a very fairly simple game. It's weighted at 2.89, so it's one that I can bring out with quite a few people. Always enjoy playing it. Voyages of the Ganges.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I really enjoy this one. Did not make my list this year. However, I do play this one a lot on Yucata. It's got a good implementation on there. The roll and write version of this game is a ton of fun too. I've heard people say they even like it better. I prefer the board game myself, but I still think that one's really good as well.
There you go.
All right, my number 39 was recently up for a Spiel des Jahres.
Look at that. You throwing that out there like that.
Kenner? I can't remember whatever one, but
You're a name dropper.
Cryptid. But it's funny because this game came out here at least in 2018. This one is ranked 273 overall. This is a deduction game. I was thinking it's funny to tell the story the first time I played it. I thought it was a cooperative game, and so when the player next to me won, I high-fived them. I was like, yeah, we did it. And they were like, no, I did it.
He was like, Teen's a nice guy. Like, he's more excited about me winning than he might be if he won.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I actually should have and would have won that game had I thought that it was a competitive game. But it is still really fun where you're giving out information. You're trying to guess information about where other people's clue is, and then you're matching up all your clues to find that one spot on the board where the cryptid actually is. And then if you guess that correctly, you're going to be the winner. The problem with this one is it's not a problem with the game. It's a problem with my friends. It's harder for me to find people to play this to play this game. Wow. You can't play it too. I've not played the new
Dean's friend.
2-player version. You are my friend, John.
I would play Cryptid with you.
Yeah, but we have to find one other player.
Yeah.
So anyway, I still love this game. It's still really high up there. Cryptid.
I think it's fun. There you go. That's your number
39.
All right, my number 38 is ranked 1,514 overall, so I guess, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm losing on that. It is a Kiesling Kramer game, some of my favorite designers, and that is Renature. Now, this game is weighted at 2.2. It's one of their lighter games. I mean, they have some lighter games, but it's definitely on that lighter side. Now, this is one that's on my top 50 list that I've recommended to a lot of people, and a lot of people go, I really enjoy it. Don't know why it's that high for you, right? Like, yeah. It's like, and I'm cool with that. Like, I totally understand that. So this is kind of one of those that I have on the list that I go, I think a lot of people are going to go, that was fun. No idea why it's that high. I'll tell you why it's that high. It brings me back to this domino playing as a kid, brings me back to domino playing as a young adult, and you're placing these dominoes and you do this kind of area majority thing, this very Kiesling Kramer area majority thing in the midst of placing the dominoes. It has this board vibe of like grandma's kitchen, and there's just something, it's just like, one of those things where you're like, that food brings back this memory and it's high on my list because of that. I really feel like that's why I like Renature so much, is it just kind of brings back this comfort feeling, and it's just a personal thing.
Yeah, I also think this one, it benefits you to play it multiple times and not just base your overall opinion on one play, right? Because you can get really destroyed by somebody the first time you play this game.
Yeah, I do think people like it better over time, for sure. I mean, I totally just agree with what you just said, but it's a reality. Like, I have the first play going, okay, it's fine. But the more you play it, the more you recognize, wow, it's got a lot of really interesting tactical strategy, area majority, the tile placement. It's all there and really cool.
Yeah, I really like this one too. It is crazy. I'm agreeing with people and saying that it's crazy to me how high this is on your list. When you first played this, when you first got this game, you said, I'm going to sell all my other games. This is the only game I ever want to play.
I just did what you say.
That wasn't an exact quote, but something along those lines. This is game number 3 of Kiesling Kramer games, maybe, for you so far.
Oh, wow.
Is that right?
I don't know.
At least 2.
Cole Baron.
Did you have to call on your list?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, for some reason I thought you had that on there. Okay, so 2 out of your first 12-ish games.
I know.
Like
that's
13,
pretty wild.
Something like that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love those guys.
All right, my number 30.
That's my number 38. Renature.
Oh yeah.
We say that for the videos and for the podcast because it helps if people forget what we said.
That's right. My number 38 is Roll for the Galaxy. This one's been on my list maybe every time we've done this list.
It was on mine last week.
That's right, it was. And I still really enjoy this game. I played the app version of this one. I wish the app had some of the expansion stuff, but what really raises this game for me is the expansion material. All of it. I like all the expansions, especially the... Oh, goodness, I'm forgetting the name of it. It's not Ambition, it's the other one. Yep. Anyway, it's the one that adds the customizable dice.
You like that one?
I think that was a lot of fun. Although I think Ambition is a whole lot of fun, too. Rivalry, that's right. So in this game, you are rolling dice behind a screen, and you're going to be placing them out to take different actions. One of those is going to go onto an action slot to say this action is going to happen, regardless of what John picks. If John picks the same action, we're going to take that action, and you might just get that one action. In a two-player game, you're going to roll an extra die, and that's going to give you an extra action spot to take. But all the other dice, if somebody else picks it and you have it in that column, you'll get to take that action. You're building... exploring planets, you're going to be building up these developments, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game is going to be the winner. Nice little engine building game. I really enjoy this one.
Yep.
And it's a really quick game as well. This one's ranked pretty high. I don't have it pulled up yet, but I will in just a second. This one is overall 114.
Got out of the top 100.
That's right. That's my number 38.
Perfect segue.
For the Galaxy.
Number 99 overall.
Oh, wow. You are higher in this one, aren't you?
That's wild. I didn't, when I said it was just outside the top 100, I had not looked at this yet, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Number 99 is Lorenzo Il Magnifico. Now, this is Flaminia Brasini, Virginio Gigli, and Simone. Dude, there's so many Luciani games on this list, and I didn't even realize that.
I did. I could have told you that before.
No, I like him. It's like I like him a lot, and like I'm just now realizing how very much, because I had Council of Four on my list already. I had Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar, on my list already, and then now Lorenzo Il Magnifico. So that's 3. That's 3 out of the top 14 games, I think. Simone Luciani's name.
And I can think of
that's crazy.
At least one more that's going to be on your list, but you'll have more for sure.
That's wild. Yeah. Okay. So
what's not wild is this game.
Yeah. Well, you like this game.
No, I do like this game. It's just not a wild, crazy game.
No, this game is a game of dice placement, and I always think of it just tightness. It feels so tight, doesn't it? Like there's not like a ton of places to go, and you're placing your dice in these spots, but you're also getting cards, which is, the crux of it is getting the cards so that you're building engines, pretty much, right? Engines to gain resources or victory points or different things like that, or in-game scoring with victory points, excuse me. And I just think I really enjoy engine building games. I enjoy games where, you have this tight worker placement spots, and it all comes together in a game that is a Magnifico.
Ah, that's good. That's pretty good.
Yep.
37? You're 37. Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
That's it.
Yes, this game stresses me out a little bit, especially
it does. It's just
moving up
game.
on the church track. I think is it the cross, like the red cross or whatever.
Yeah,
that part stresses me out a bit.
Or you get bad things that happen to you.
Yes, yeah, that's common in a lot of these games as well.
Yeah, there it is,
including one that I'll talk about later on my list. But all right, my number 37 is Dominion. This is an oldie and a goodie. This one is ranked 111 overall. You got that fly all up in your face, man.
Dude,
get out of here.
On the YouTubes, maybe you'll see it. It's just all over us.
Man, you're relentless, buddy. Jeez.
We're taking this thing down.
Go find a more popular YouTuber if you're wanting to get famous, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so this is Dominion. Dominion is the granddaddy of the deck builders. There is so much content for this game, even in the base game box of this one. By the way, I don't know if I said this. I think I did. 111 overall. This is Donald X Baccarino. In this game, it really teaches some of the basics of deck building, which is, shuffling through, buying new cards and all that. But it is super simple to teach. I can teach this. In fact, unless they change this in the second edition, there's a really easy way to teach this game, which is ABC, and that's it. ABC. A is your action, B is your buy, and C is the cleanup. It doesn't label it that way in the rulebook, which I always thought was kind of funny because it's a super easy way to teach this game. And that's it. You're just buying cards and you're trying to get the most points. There's a couple different ways to end the game. Buying provinces and depleting that stack often is the way that we win, or that somebody wins the game, not me, because I don't win this game. My wife wins this game. I just like this game. I don't have all of the new stuff. I think I stopped at around
You have a lot, though.
Dark Ages or Guild Hall, whatever that one's called. But there's been 4, 5, 6 sets, maybe more, since those have come out.
There you go.
I need to check those out because I've heard really good things about the new sets.
That's
Dominion.
Really good game.
My number 37. 7.
All right. My number 36 is new to my list this year, and it is a game by...
Donald X Vaccarino. Look at that.
Dude, that's been interesting. We didn't plan any of these things.
No, we have a couple of other things like that today, though, I think.
I think so. Now, this is... So the problem is it's hard. I'm going to put the big box of Kingdom Builder as my number 36. The problem is it doesn't have the ranking. I have to go all the way down, all the way to regular Kingdom Builder, which is 605 overall, which I think that it would probably be higher if you could have the big box. Yeah, so Kingdom Builder has entered my list because, this is such a great game that is easy to teach, and it gives you different feels every time you play it. You're putting out your little buildings, or what are they called? Hut? I don't know.
I always call them settlements because they're the same.
Maybe settlements. Yeah, maybe settlements.
Houses on the...
Out onto a board, and it's as simple as you flip over a card and you go, I'm placing in the grasslands, this round. But there's, different ways you have to place them. They have to be adjacent to something else if possible, and blah, blah, blah. But there's different cards that come out every game for how they score. And that's the key to the game is interesting, like these different combinations that come out and you go, okay, how can I make this work? So it has that puzzly nature that feels different, I feel like, every time I play the game because they come out differently. And then when you add the big box and you have different new buildings, and you have different cards and different ways where you can score points immediately instead of just score them all at the end, it becomes very fun and interesting. And like even recently I brought it out with my 2 oldest sons and they just loved it. And so a game that a 12 and a 14-year-old can play that is puzzly enough to where I'm going to really enjoy it, I just really like this game. It just gives me the feels.
You're right about this one. You have hyped this one up a lot in a good way because when this first came out, I really enjoyed it, but the people that I played with didn't at the time. This was just kind of that stage. So I ended up getting rid of it, and then I picked it back up because this really is a fun game.
It's a super fun game. It's just one of those, and the other piece is that it's so short. It's like a 30, 40-minute game. And I'm really enjoying that level of, I like games that simple rule set that give me thinkies that are pretty quick. That's kind of my lifestyle right now. And you're seeing that reflected in my list this year. Not as many heavier, long games, though I really enjoy some of those. I've just been playing more of these styles.
You like the thinkies. And this one was also a Kennerspiel? Spieljars winner, I think, back in the day. I think. You might want to look that up. I can't see it on here. But anyway.
36.
That's your 36.
Kingdom Builder, big box.
My number 36 is another big box type game that is Snowdonia Deluxe Master Set, which we actually just played yesterday. Because I wanted to make sure I still love this game. And you know what?
You still love this game.
Still love this game. And actually, it's possible I could have bumped this up a little bit on my list after playing yesterday, but I kept it where it is, and I'm okay with that. This is a pretty simple worker placement game. This is a really fast game. So basically you are going to be placing all of your workers out onto these different action spots. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different spots on here. 7 different actions that you can take. Some of them have multiple spots depending on how many players that you have. Mm-hmm. And once you place all those out there, then you're going to take all those actions. You're going to change the weather and reset the board and do it again. Just keep doing that until you've built up tracks all along the board. Because that's what you're doing. You're building up tracks on the up to Snowdonia. A lot of cool things I like about this game. One is that quickness of the worker placement. Another one is the weather die and how that affects how much rubble you can be removing when you take that action or how many tracks that you can build. I think that's really cool. You're going to be going to take resources in these cube spaces, but you don't know how many are going to be out there. So when you draw each phase for new ones to come out, you could have a lot of iron to come out, or a lot of, I don't know, probably a lot of stone, not a lot of coal. Coal lets you get more workers potentially with your train that you have. I just love this game, and the Deluxe Master Set is where it's at because there's so much content in this box. And I haven't really even scratched the surface on all the good stuff in this box. Excellent game, Snowdonia Deluxe Master Set. I don't know what Snowdonia is ranked overall. I don't know if you can look that up, but
I can. We can look it up. It may or may not be on my list here in a little bit. So
okay, there we go.
I won't talk about it at the moment. That's your number 36. My number 35 is, speaking of lighter games that don't take long to play, Tawantinsuyu, the Inca Empire. Which is a joke if you've never played it before. So this is a David Turczi game, and I love it. From the first time I played it, came out in 2020, so it's only a couple years old. But in this game, you're placing workers onto this board with all kinds of things. It looks super, you're like, whoa, it looks kind of busy. There's taters on the board and stones and all these different things. But as you place them, you're going to get a power action based on how many other ones you have in that particular area. In addition to that, the way you place it has to do with where your high priest is at the top of this pentagon, right? And this game just has a lot of pieces to the games that I love, and all really is woven together. Oh, there goes my mic.
You were talking about how mine was going to mess up during the episode. And here it is, yours.
There it is. Speaking of weaving together, you have tapestries that you're weaving together. You also have, which help build an engine. You also have area majority in 4 different areas, which I love area majority. Also, you have tracks that you're going up and down, which can give you engines as well, like the sun track or whatever on the right-hand side of the board. The color of the meeples all do different things. So as you're placing them, they have like a little special power that they give you when you're placing them. As I'm talking about this game, I'm going, why are we not playing this?
Yes.
This is so fun.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So this one has been on my list last couple years, I think. It did not make it this year, and I almost 100% believe it's because I just haven't played it in a while. I want to play this game right now. It's still, when I did my ranking, it was still in the 50s or like low 60s, something like that. So it's still really high for me. I love this game.
It is good. I did not mention what it's ranked 10,085 overall. It needs to be a little higher than that, doesn't it?
That's not right.
It is. It's right. I don't know. Maybe it's a little heavier.
1,000. I thought you said 10,000.
1,085.
Okay, still 1,085.
I'm sorry. I said 10, and I was going to say 1085 overall, but then I was...
1,085 is really low for this game.
I feel like it is.
That surprises me. And the rankings are not super... Ratings are not super high either. I mean, 7.5. That's really good, but... Interesting.
It's such a good game.
This is an excellent game. I'm with you.
Yep.
I want to go play this. That's your number
35.
what? 35. Okay, my number 35.
Yes.
I'm last.
All you have to do is say the exact same number that I said.
We switch it up every week, and because I'm pulling it up for the YouTube, I can't look at where I have this on my list. All right, is Memoir 44. Now this one was on my list.
Played it.
Came off my list. I'll play it with you. I've offered to play it.
You keep telling me that you think I would like this one.
This is Richard Borg. This one is a popular game, ranked 160 overall.
That's it. Days
of Wonder game. Now, what has really rekindled my joy of this game is playing it on Board Game Arena. Topher Graves is my Memoir 44 partner, and we have at least one, usually 2 games going on at a time, and we've been doing this for a couple months now, just nonstop. And man, this is such a fun game. And we played it again, started a couple months ago, and I was like, why have I not played this game in so long? It's super simple, super fun to play, but basically every game, there's a ton of content available for this too, but the gist of it is the same. You're trying to get these different badges in the game, and you do that by destroying units of other players. Usually, there's other ways that you can get badges, but that's a big way that you can do that. And so basically, if you've got like an infantry unit and I'm next to one of your units, regardless of what it is, I can roll 3 dice. Or if you're 2 units away, I can roll 2. There's different terrain that comes into effect and changes all of that. But the really cool part of this game is how you play that. There are no good pictures on here at all.
Jeez.
But I'm going to show this one even though it's blurry. You basically are going to play cards. You have a limited number of cards that you have, and I'm going to play a card and do the action. So a card that I might say attack with all of your units from your right flank, or you can counterattack. So basically play a card that John just played. I can do the exact same action, or I can do an air assault or something like that. There's lots of, or attack them all different. There we go. Yeah.
You weren't ready for that. If you were on the podcast, I attacked him from his left flank, and he was not ready.
Anyway, so you play those. You're gonna roll dice. Ooh, this one has zombies in it. I don't know about that, but there's also Okay, there's a ton of... I don't even know where to start to explain all the content that you can have. The Overlord expansion lets you play with 8 people, where you've got 3 people playing different sides, and then one Overlord telling you like what to do. I'm giving you cards and kind of giving you commands. This game is insanely good, and it probably needs to stay on my top 50, and if it doesn't in the future, it's only because I haven't played it. But I've been playing it a ton lately.
There you go.
You got to play this game, John. It's fantastic.
Okay, I'll play it.
Memoir 44 is my number 35-ish.
And that's ranked, you had already said it, so 140 something.
160. 160 overall.
Okay, so my number 34 begins with an apology. I want to apologize to MeepleTown.
It's too late.
I want to apologize to Daniele Tassini and Simone Luciani, which is his 3rd time.
By the way, I don't think you need to apologize because you got him like every other game. This is insane.
34 is the Voyages of Marco Polo. Why am I apologizing, Dean?
We didn't like this game.
We played it one night, and it was the last game, which this has happened multiple times to us, where we've played 2 or 3 games, we start a game at 11 o'clock or something like that, and we play it and go, okay, it's fine. And that was exactly how we felt about it, right? Like, we didn't not like it.
It wasn't exactly how we felt. I went out and sold it the next day. That's exactly how I felt.
Okay, you liked it less than me then, I remember.
Yeah, I did.
I remember rating it like a 6.5 or something like that, like maybe a 7, like in that, like just kind of, it's fine, it's whatever. I don't get the hype. But I went ahead and bought it at the last Tennessee game days because I said, this is rated too high, and there's too many people that like games, and we have very similar tastes that like this. I've got to play this game again, and really, it's a Euro. Dice worker placement. Where you're placing them out. I'm looking at 2 things at one time. But what everyone loves about this game is the fact that it is, you have asymmetric, incredibly powerful, right, powers in this game.
Seemingly too powerful until you play it, and then you're like,
it's like this breaks
Everybody's
the game,
powerful.
but everyone's power breaks the game. And, it's... Like I said, it's kind of got this really just classic Euro feel, and what I like about it so much is not only the asymmetric powers, which I do like that, but I like how the game is I don't feel like it's very rules heavy. The weight is 3.19, and I just like those kind of decisions that you're making with your dice and stuff over the course of the game, and I just think it's a really fun game. So that's it. It's shot up from I don't care about it much to 34 overall. So shame on me.
Wow, okay.
Ranked 78 overall.
My number 34 is another 2-player combat style game. This is a game that's been out for a while, but then they just did a 2nd edition last year. This is Summoner Wars 2nd edition, which I preferred the 2nd edition, by Kobiet over at Plaid Hat Games. This is a game that I absolutely love, and it kind of went back and forth which one I would put above Memoir 44. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. There's similar styles of games, kind of, I guess. But in this one, you are playing out cards onto a board, and I am trying to take out your summoner. And I'm going to be summoning different characters out onto the board, and then I'll move them around, and I'm going to attack them. The faction decks are really cool, which is what really raises this one up just slightly above Memoir 44. Memoir 44, you're doing a lot of different things, but ultimately it's kind of the same. This one, the factions are so very different, I feel like, and so that's why it just gets the nod for me. But there's tons of new content coming out for this. If you're thinking, I really have wanted to try this game for a long time, you can go on Plaid Hat Games, and you can on their website, and you can actually play this game. You can pay to play the different factions, or you can just play a sampling of it, like play a full game, but you only get to play with 2 of the decks available. This is an excellent game if you love this style of game. If you don't, I don't know if it's really going to change it. Like for you, John, you didn't necessarily love this, but this isn't really your style of game.
No, but I thought it was a good implementation.
Yeah. This is a really, really fun game. Yep, that is Summoner Wars 2nd edition. Go check it out.
Awesome.
My number 34. And overall, it is something.
Uh-oh.
It's pretty high overall, I think. It is 601, but Summoner Wars might actually be higher than that, or the Master Set might be higher than that. I'm not really sure how that's set up on here, but that is 593 is what Summoner Wars is.
There it is. All right, that's your number 34. My number 33 is a game that is ranked 130 overall, but it's the same thing. I'm going to put the big bucks on here, and so that doesn't actually have a rating on BGG, but the original is 130 overall. And this is a game that's new to my list. This is a game that Dean taught me this year, early this year, I think. It's been because I've played it quite a bit. That's Hansa Teutonica. How about that, Dean? You're happy this is on my list, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, I really am. I thought you were going to love this game when we first played it.
You go back to Voyages of Marco Polo, where it's kind of got this kind of dry Euro-y feel in Marco. I didn't even mention that you're like merchants in Marco Polo, and you're going around to these different cities and doing these, getting goods and delivering them and all that kind of stuff. In this game, you have a beige board, and you're putting cubes onto the beige board. You don't get any more classic Euro than that, do you, Dean?
Oh, no.
This is like the epitome of classic Euro. But in this game, what's so interesting is you are placing these cubes onto these like little towns and whatever, and you're trying to make connections between these cities. And whatever you do make connections...
Everything you're saying says dry Euro.
I know. When you make connections now, you can either put your cube into that little city, or you can get like a bonus that is going to help you build an engine. And I think that that's the fun part about this game is tactically when to place things, because you have to kick other people's out by your placement on there. Should I do that now? Because if I kick Dean out, he gets to take his and put it adjacent to this road and gets another cube. And so it's going to kind of help Dean. So maybe it's not a good idea to do this, but no, I've got 2 out of 3 on this road, and I can complete the road with 1. And then you have that tough decision of, do I want to put my cube in here, which can help into the city, which will help me get an engine building for points, or do I want to make my powers better to where maybe I'm at the city where I can get more actions if I put my cube there. So it's constantly that, I don't know what to do, but it's so freaking fast. Like you're just like boom, 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 my turn's done. Besides those decisions that you kind of might gruel over a little bit, then it's Dean's turn. And the game just seems like it plays fast and cool decisions, great game. Hansa Teutonica big box. That's my number 33.
Yep. Even if you don't have the big box, I think this is a really fun game. Yeah. Although the big box is really nice. Having those extra maps and little variations there, I enjoy that. Yep, you will see this game higher on the list for sure. All right, my number 30, what was that for you?
3.
Number 33.
Remember, you have to say the same.
My number 33, I know, but I forgot what your number was. My number 33
You're like
is
my wife, you don't listen to what I say.
Virginio Gigli and Simone Luciani game.
Yep.
Have you heard these names before?
Yeah, I don't know.
Grand Austria Hotel.
Love it.
79 overall.
Let me just take over.
I could... Yep. There's just my list is so good. There's just so many different games that I could put in these spots.
I'll pat you on the back. Way to go, Dean.
This is one I've played a decent amount, especially lately. I've been playing it on Yucata a decent amount. In this game, you are going to be dice drafting is one of the biggest pieces, but you are drafting these dice to take the different actions from those columns. If you're looking at the video that I'm showing right now, if I take a 2 die and there's 3 2 dies there, I can take a red or a black cube 3 times, but I can't take black unless I take a red. So I have to have more or equal to reds, if that makes any sense at all. Or I can take money, or I can take these different contracts, lots of different things that I do. And I'm going to be taking these guests, I'm going to be feeding these guests and putting them into their room, and all of that is going to be giving you points and building an engine so that you can get more and more points at the end of the game. This game is fantastic. All of those different pieces play together really well. There's nothing that I don't really enjoy about this game. There's so many cool intricacies of this game. Yeah, I just love it. This is Grand Austria Hotel. I know that John will have this
Absolutely.
higher. Verla, who is somebody we play a lot of games with online, also I think this might be her number 1 game if I remember right. Way up there. This is an excellent game. You got to check this out. Also, again, you can play this online.
Who's number 1 game?
Verla, who's part of that Chuck's
I love
gaming
it.
group.
It's going to be way high for me. Absolutely fantastic. I'll talk about it when I get there.
Yep.
Speaking of games that someone else has already talked about, I'm going to go ahead and put my number 32 as Snowdonia, the Deluxe Master Set.
By the way, that was 79 overall. I don't know if I said that. Grand Austria Hotel.
Snowdonia was 500 something. You already mentioned it overall. But if I'm just talking about regular Snowdonia, it's not on my list, right? It's it feels a little samey to me, right? But whenever you add, as Dean said, the Deluxe Master Set, you have all these scenarios, and you have goats in there, and dynamite, and all these things to add to it. It is such a fun game, and the reason I like it so much, as we played yesterday, was I like the weight. The rules are pretty simple to teach, weighted around 3, but I like how fast the actions are. How many times, Dean, were we done with the whole round in probably 1 minute?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know? And then you have that tactical decision of...
Probably none. It was probably like 2 minutes.
But yeah, no, I don't know. But when you placing in the worker placement spots, because I like how you have to decide, do I want to go here now, or do I think Dean's not going to go there so that I could get these 2 spots that I really, really want? And then you do the worker placement actions from left to right. So that's another interesting call that you're making, because you could go, I want this, but if I don't get that spot, I won't have enough cubes. I won't have enough whatever to build this track. And so I'm going to risk it, or because I really don't think he's going to go there, or I'm not going to risk it, and then you get hosed potentially. It's just so fun, and I love trains. I mean, I like the theme. I love the art and components that they have on this Deluxe Master Set. It's a great game.
Yep, fantastic.
That's 32. Snowdonia Deluxe Master Set.
Number 32 is a super simple
Talk about
worker placement.
Cubes.
This is kind of, I had Dominion earlier. Dominion's kind of like that base level deck builder. This is like that base level worker placement game. And for some reason, I don't know why, I just absolutely love this game.
Dean has not even said the name of the game.
Lords of Waterdeep. I just said it, didn't I?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I was waiting for you to say it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think I did. Lords of Waterdeep with the expansion in there. This is ranked 81 overall.
The Skullport expansion?
Yeah, the Skullport expansion. In this game, you are placing workers out onto spots, and you're going to be taking cubes, or as I like to say, you're taking these different adventures that you're going to be sending out on these different quests, because that's what it is. It's not thematic at all. This is a D&D themed game, but not really. And
you get mad when I say I'm going to get 2 purple cubes. You're like, no, they're
wizards.
You know what they are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do. Play this game a whole lot. And you're just playing through a set number of rounds in this game to get the most points at the end of the game. The cool thing about this game, though, is the quest cards are interesting because they're giving you points, but they're also giving you different abilities or one-shot things like that. The buildings is what really makes this game for me, though. You can build different buildings, which change from game to game, giving you different worker placement spots. And if I'm the one who built that building and John takes that action later, I'm going to get a bonus from that. I really love that aspect of the game. I also love the intrigue cards.
It would be really boring if it didn't build out.
Yes.
That's really nice.
It definitely would. And if you didn't have the intrigue cards, it wouldn't be as interesting either. Intrigue cards give you more bonuses, but you have to take an action to play those cards, but then you get to play those agents again later on in the game. Excellent game. I still love this one. I wonder if they're going to redo this, some sort of an anniversary edition coming up. This one is coming up on a 10, 15-year anniversary, something like that. 10-year anniversary is this year. There's some component issues with this game. I've deluxeified it a bit. Okay. More than a bit. I love this game. Lords of Waterdeep, my number 32.
You can also find that one relatively cheap. Like, if there are new people into the hobby, like, this is one of my high recommendations. I don't love this as much as some other people do, but I feel like every time I show it to people, they love it. I do enjoy it. I won't turn down a game all that often, but like I feel like people just love this, and it's great. Super high recommendation for me. I almost put it on that list that we did with Rick. I know you'll probably hear it on the podcast later on, but like top 5 games to do a start a board game store with, or if you own whatever we did, because it's such a great classic worker placement, and it's a wonderful game.
Good call.
All right.
Speaking of not great games. Speaking of that.
It's so my number 31, the last for this episode, is ranked 356 overall. So there's quite a few people that would disagree with you, Dean. Is my, I don't hate this second Stefan Feld game, and it is In the Year of the Dragon. Now, this is a game that is, I've always said this multiple times, this is the bend you over and spank you game. The game of feed your workers, right? Like, every year there's going to be something that takes place, and most years it's a disaster or something bad, and so you're having to plan for that constantly over the course of this game. But what I really like about it is Stefan Feld is my favorite designer of all time, I'm pretty sure. Though Simone Luciani is pretty high apparently on my list as well. Yeah. But this one has a lot different feels than some of his other games, right? Like, there are elements of this where you're like, oh yeah, that does feel kind of Feldish. But I just like how it has just it really feels different than a lot of other board games I've played. Do you agree with that?
It does, yeah.
And I think that's why it just constantly stands out in my mind, is like, it just has a different feel of taking these tiles and putting them into your like temple area, having enough spots. You're constantly squeezed on, I want this, man, I don't know if I have enough to get this, or if I spend my coins and I can't do this. Like, it just feels super tight, and bad things are constantly coming against you, it feels like. And I like it. I like that about it, because I feel clever when I am able to weather the storms in this game and score points. Points can be hard to come by in this one sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
So I really like this game. In the Year of the Dragon, my number 31. Booyah.
It is surprising me that you have this higher than Rialto, but
it's because of that.
I've known that you really like this game for a long time.
It's because of that. It just has different feels, and I constantly find myself wanting to go grab it on the shelf, because it just stands out in a world full of games that have like similar things to it, that, you know, like, there's nothing special about Voyages of Marco Polo, but it's fun, and that's why it's on my list. And like, it doesn't have to be wildly different for me to like something by any stretch. I don't believe in that. But when something does have something different, that kind of ticks something in your brain that some other games don't, I'm like, I find myself going to them.
Yeah, it makes sense. My guess is we're going to see a decent amount more Felds on your list, if I had to guess.
Oh, we just got the party started.
Okay. All right. Actually, last week you got started with Rialto. But my number 31 is not a Feld game. It is a Shem Phillips game. It is Raiders of Scythia.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
You put this over Raiders of the North Sea.
Well, yes. Kind of.
I'm going to guess. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Here's why I did it. Okay, so I do think I like Raiders of Scythia better.
Okay.
Now, if you have seen any of our content in the past about this, or not even ours, but any content, this is Raiders of the North Sea. It is the same game. Pretty much. A redoing of it, and there's some things in this game that are from the expansion, and then some different things. But basically, this is a worker placement and displacement. You're going to be placing a worker, taking an action, removing a worker, and then taking that action. That's all you're going to be doing. And you're going to be completing these different quests. You're going to be collecting resources and using those resources to complete the quest. You're going to be going to battle and rolling dice to determine whether or not you're going to be losing characters or damaging, taking damage to your characters. The art production on this game is through the freaking roof. I mean, it is insane how much I love the look of this game. Now, the reason I put Raiders of Scythia over North Sea 1 is overall I feel like it's the better deal. I like the look of it better. I like the overall gameplay better. So all of the reasons are why I put this higher than North Sea. And you knew that I like this better than North Sea.
Yeah, I think I go North Sea still.
But I like the eagles, the horses on this.
It's fun though.
How they add some different abilities on there and stuff like that. But I love this game. If you have North Sea, you don't necessarily need this one. I still have not gotten rid of my North Sea game, but I think that I'm going to. And I have everything for it. In the Garfield games, like their collector's box, like the really nice one. Everything's in there, but I'm going to get rid of that and just keep Raiders of Scythia, because it is an amazing game, but both of them are fantastic.
There you go.
As my number 31, now Raiders of North Sea, I'm guessing, is higher overall rank, if I had to guess. But Scythia, I'll just stick with this one, as 416.
There it is.
So there we go. That is this list. It's a good list. But next week, I've got some new additions. I think 4 out of my 10 next week are brand new to my list. Or at least, yeah, I think that's right. It's going to be excellent. Your mind's going to be blown from my list next week, John.
You're going to be weeping. I bet I can start naming what they are right now, but I won't. I'm going to guess that many of them have miniatures. And I'm being serious this time, because I'm thinking of some of the games. They probably all do.
No.
Okay.
I've got some. No, one of them does, for sure. But one of them is a Euro that I've been wanting you to play for a long time. That's a teaser.
I think I know what it is.
You're going to like it. Okay, so we already mentioned, if you would like to review us or anything like that, we would love some feedback just to know that you're there and you care. John, tell people how they can get in touch with us.
If you're enjoying us, we would love for you to review this podcast like Dean just mentioned. You can go to @MeepleTown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the social medias. MeepleTown, patreon.com/MeepleTown if you want to support us on Patreon. And we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our Patreon supporters for making content like this possible. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/MeepleTown. To follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, find us at MeepleTown Games. Finally, to connect with us and other residents of MeepleTown, you can join Guild 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com. Until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.